All right, it says it's recording, but there we go. Hi, I'm Crystal from Crystallized Designs, and I am redoing the WIP Wednesday video I had tried yesterday, and I got everything recorded, and I loaded it on my computer, I completely uploaded to YouTube, and was about ready to hit the publish button, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll just watch a couple minutes or whatever. And there was zero sound. So I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. As it was uploading to YouTube, I love when I'm cold at night just to jump in and take a quick hot shower. So I had my hair all wet, and I'm like, well, I can't redo it now. I look like I'm a drowned rat or something. So I'm redoing it tonight, and hopefully the sound is working properly. The video is working properly, and I can show you exactly what I'm working on. I was less lazy this week than I was last week, but I can't get a part of the pattern that I'm working on perfect, and I want it perfect before I move any further or publish the pattern, because it needs to be perfect for you guys. It needs to be perfect for me. I need it to be exactly how I want it, and it's not fair to rush through it on my part or your part, because it's my pride. So I'm just really struggling with one of them, and the second one, I can't wait for the first one to get done so I can continue with the second one. So let's start with the big one that I'm almost done with. Again, if you pick a name, if you share a name with me and I pick your name for the flamingo, you win the free PDF, ad-free PDF of this pattern. So feel free to drop any comments below and let me know what you think the name of this flamingo should be. So this is a flamingo, and it's just pieces right now. So let me pull out the pieces. I bought from WIP Crochet the Fable Fur Paloma. I bought 2 of those, and a velope is the other one, and that's the darker. I only have a little bit left of that. That's the darker pink, and I love working with these yarns. I absolutely love. Like, I'm constantly cheek rubbing it, and I love working with these fur yarns. If you haven't before, this is definitely a yarn that you're going to feel for the stitches. I work in between the stitches, not in the top loops, because it's really hard to find those top loops without seeing them. So I recommend working between the stitches, and basically it's just touch and feel and count as you go, and if it's not in the perfect spot, nobody's gonna know. So there's that little tip for you. But I used those 2 colors, and I really hope, I always buy a little bit extra just in case. So I bought 2 of the lighter pink and 1 of the darker pink. I really struggled with which colors to choose, because flamingos, if you looked at pictures or stuffed animals or anything, like some of them are light pink with dark pink sections, or vice versa, or just orangish, and I wanted a soft pink flamingo, but yet the dark underneath in other areas. So I went with 2 of the lighter pink and 1 of the darker, and as much as I would like to squeak out this pattern using 1 of each, I'm probably going to have to use a little bit of the second skein of the Paloma, and I really don't like doing that because I hate having so much leftovers. I would rather try to use a decent portion of 2, or just try and cut it down to 1, but I think I'm gonna have to bust into that one. So without further ado, let's talk about the pattern. I have all my pieces here. I also bought for this pattern Corvo, which is straight black, and I'm going to use a small chunk of this. I just have not gotten that far yet. A small chunk, a small little bit of the black. And I love having these colors on hand because I love making fur creatures. Okay, anyways, stop talking. Okay, my son decided to take part of this project and run around with it, and then he took out all my fiberfill, polyfill, whatever you call it, and he's got it scattered all over the house, so I just kind of stuck it in my bag, and I'm getting fuzzies floating everywhere. I have a problem with fuzzies. Okay, anyways. I very easily lose my train of thought. So I have 2 legs made. They have kind of flat feet that, I don't know, they got weird feet. And then they have the joint, so I have a little bit of a joint there. And then this is made in the darker pink with just a little bit of the lighter pink. So I have 2 of those. I am a little bit nervous that these are too long, so I might have to frog these and shorten them up a bit. Then I have the body, and this looks kind of weird, I think. So the belly is the lighter pink, and then the darker pink. I really liked the flamingos that had a soft pink, but then you saw the darker pink underneath the wings. That being said, I have my 2 wings here, and so they will go, let me see if I can, I'm just estimating where these would be, but can you see? Oh, I'm way off. I'm way off. Something like, oh man, till I actually sew it on and get it all lined up. So something along those lines. So you can still see the darker pink underneath. I don't plan on sewing these wings down very much, so they could, I'm probably going to sew them down in the beginning rounds and maybe slightly a little bit on top, but that's the body. Whoops, wrong way, with the legs. So picture one like that, and one like that. It's the neck that I'm really struggling with. I want to get that curve perfect, and every way I try it, I don't like it. So I've redone the neck. I can't even tell you about how many times I have, because it's been multiple. So that's the part I'm struggling on this project. So this will not get released this week because obviously I'm not done with it and I want to get it tested. And so I'm hoping next week Friday. I'm really hoping next week Friday. So I work for a school, that's my day job. And I think I get more excited for breaks than my children do, or snow days. Oh, I love snow days. Anyways. My spring break is next week, and I'm really excited to just be home, and I'm gonna paint a little, my house a little bit this coming week, and I'm gonna just spend the rest of time pumping out projects that I'm so excited to finish so I can get going on projects that I'm so excited to start. So that is the flamingo. Again, if you would like a chance to win a free PDF, ad-free PDF, you can comment below with a name of your choosing. If I pick your name, you get the PDF for free. If there is multiple people that commented the same name, I will pick the first person to comment with that name. That is that project. And then, don't mind me, it's late. My 2 kids told me, my 2 older kids told me they didn't have school tomorrow because it started their spring break. Like today was their last day, and so they stayed up later than I thought. I'm in pajamas. I hate being cold, so I got my blanket covering me. Okay, so these nightly videos, just assume I'm going to be in pajamas or lounge pants or whatever you want to call it. So this next pattern, I'll show you the yarn before I show you the start of the project. If you watch previous videos, I showed you in this bag that I was going to use Lindy chain again from We Crochet, and this is a different feeling yarn that I felt, and I've said this before. It is linen, 70% linen and 30% Pima cotton, and it's soft, but it feels different. Maybe I've never worked with 70-30 before. I don't know. But the more I work with it, the more I absolutely love it. So if you haven't tried it and you're looking for a fingering weight yarn, I highly recommend this one. It's fantastic to work with. All right, so again, my 3-year-old, sorry. Oh, and it's 10 o'clock, so it's gonna ding 10 times. I'm gonna talk through it because I'm told that you guys can hear me over the grandfather clock. So, my child likes to grab an end and run around the house with it. So I ended up with this ball of mess. So I have to untangle that. I have a blog post on how to untangle a yarn if you're interested. But this is the stitch pattern that I am using. It's a little condensed and harder to see. I hope you can see it. And I can't wait to block it. So this is going to be my first spring garment of the season. And it is going to be oversized. I love layering pieces. So this is that's kind of what it's going to be. I don't know if I'm just going to let it hang or a little bit of a tight sleeve. I'm thinking about making a tie in front or back. You could do it both ways. I'm not sure about the tie. I might just have it hanging loose. I was thinking crop top with a camisole underneath. That's kind of what I like to do personally. But I'm still undecided, but I do love the stitch pattern. At first I didn't love it, but the more I work it, the more I just really like the design. I hope you can see that okay. So those are the 2 projects that I'm working on currently. I did sneak another project, even though I set up my 3 project bags, I was going to keep to 3 projects. That didn't last long. I have started this month's and almost completed this month's Stash Busters, so that will be coming as well. I don't think I'm going to show you that one until it releases, because that's going to be free for everybody to download within the first 72 hours of its release. If you are an email subscriber, you will get that right away to your inbox and you won't miss it. So I highly recommend signing up for the email so you get those kind of notifications right away. Other than that, those are what I'm working on. I'm really sorry this WIP Wednesday is WIP Thursday, and hopefully this sound recorded, because then you guys will actually get to see it. And I think that's about it. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you so much. Like, you make this happen for me. Like, I wouldn't be here designing these things that I love if other people didn't love them as well, or have the passion, same passion that I have. It's great hearing and seeing about all your stories and how you started, and I just love talking crochet. So if you want to drop me a line and let me know what you're working on, I would love to hear that as well. Otherwise, I think that's about it. Again, thank you and have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.